Bruce is going to come up and share some words regarding COVID.
On behalf of the staff and the eldership, obviously here at First Church of Christ, we're here to kind of give an update like Brandon said. And this year has been a difficult and very frustrating one. You know, I would never have guessed any of this. I don't think anybody would have back in January that we would have gone through what we've done this year. But I keep telling myself God is in control. And I think that's the first thing that we all need to remember, that God is in control. This too will pass. Back in April, Brandon and Jeff and I put out a video. It was a fairly lengthy video at that, but yeah, I wish they could have edited my face on it. To kind of talking about our church approach to the changing COVID environment at that time. This was late April, and obviously the stay-at-home request from the state was just been issued, and so we went to online services, pre-recorded, and so we did that so that the congregation could watch them at home. Everybody was pretty nervous on where this was all going to go, because this was something that, unless you were back in the Spanish flu of 1918, you not really had to deal with this. And we have since then invested in having the ability to do live services. This wasn't a trivial task. I mean, I would really like to give kudos to our tech-savvy staff for being able to put this together and make it a point where we can broadcast live. And this was something that we had as a goal as a church. I think Brandon wanted to do this. Obviously, we weren't planning on doing it right away, but with the whole COVID pandemic, that forced our hand. And so we went ahead and got the equipment and got set up to do live broadcasts. And during this past discussion, we came out stating that there would be, when we got back to live services, there would probably be significant changes in how those are done. And we gave a list of changes that could possibly happen. That included social distancing, limiting the number of people who can attend a single service with probably assigned seating. We have to make reservations. That we would organize our entry and dismissal from the services to keep social distancing, that our communion might be served in individual packets, which I think everybody's now learned how to open. That was a little bit interesting, hearing the crunching sound the first time. Drop boxes for our offering instead of passing the plates on Sunday morning. And then adjusting the time for our services to give enough time for us to sanitize between services. And the ironic thing is, almost all those things came to fruition. And we've been doing that for quite a while. And, you know, the leadership throughout these last 6 months has tried to do our best to keep a balance between protecting the congregation and creating a worshipful environment. And that's not easy. We know that these decisions have not always pleased everybody. There have been people that have been very upset about some of the stuff we've chosen to do. But we've had, as a leadership, we felt like we had to put health and safety of our congregation ahead of our personal preferences. So where are we going from here? As you know, it's been quite apparent this year that predicting the future has been fairly difficult, if not impossible. And that we are entering a colder time of the year again, which means people are forced more inside for activities, which, according to our knowledgeable people on this whole pandemic, that is not a good thing. The next 6 months could be very fluid for us. Then that would be due to the fact that, number one, you know, they're talking about a vaccine coming out. There's potential of it coming out as early as the end of this month, but that will be probably given to frontline workers and the very high-risk individuals who would benefit the most from the vaccine, and it's going to have a fairly lengthy timetable to get to the general public. Also, Indiana is currently, as everybody's quite aware, is having a nice bloom right now, and So the number of cases has gone up dramatically this time of year, and we're not alone. I think most of the Midwest has seen that. So we're all in this together. And then, we've had such a bloom that Governor Holcomb has come back out with a mandate. It technically affects our county because we are a orange county, which means that we're limited to 50 people in meetings. Now, we have, as a religious service, we do have the buy on that. We do not fall under that mandate right now. But also, future President-elect Biden has mentioned that there may be a mask mandate when he comes into office. So don't know what that means, and time will tell. Bottom line is, we don't know what the future is going to bring. So what does that mean for us? I see four things right now. Number one is that currently we have no plans to have any changes in our service from the present setup. Like I say, the mandate that came out from Governor Holcomb does not affect us, but we will continue to monitor the situation. It's a very fluid situation, and so there may be new mandates, whether they're local, state, federal, and so we will then, based upon those mandates, decide what we will do, if anything, depending upon what those mandates are requiring. Number two, we do have a policy. We developed this policy due to some situations that have already occurred here at the church. We've had 2 incidents so far that formed these policies. And basically, these policies are what to do, or the policy is what to do if a staff member is test positive, or we have a positive exposure, a known positive exposure here in the sanctuary during a church service. The present policy is to err on the side of caution. And, as you recognize, a couple weeks ago, we went online. We stopped our Sunday morning service, sent out an announcement. We stopped and went directly online. And that was to reduce the risk of potential exposure to the people of our congregation. And we have chosen to do this policy in this setup. It's not out of fear. And I just want to make that clear. We aren't scared of this, but we do respect it. And that we respect the health and the safety of all our attenders. And I think that's really critical at least from my opinion, as leadership of this church. Number three, we will continue to try to implement our church vision and restart church programs when we can implement them in a safe and properly staffed structure. And that has been very difficult. This is a very dynamic time where we've had a hard time getting volunteers. And so, but we still want to carry out our vision. That's why we're here today. We're here to talk about carrying out our vision as a church. And so it's something that we're going to keep working on because we want to make an impact on our community. We're not just here to come together as a social club on Sunday mornings. And then the last thing, and this is to me very important, until this pandemic is under control, and I hope it's soon, we ask all church attenders to please think of others first. And this is key. We got to think of each other first. Think if Jesus didn't think of us first, what it would have been like. And so if you're not feeling well or potentially have been exposed to the virus, stay home. Come when, and watch the service online. Come when you're feeling better and it's safe to come. And, we've set up our services so you can either be here or watch online. Use common sense and put your fellow congregation person first. So that's in a nutshell what we're trying to do. I know we're not got any revelations today, but it is where it is, and we will let anybody know or the congregation know if something changes. Thanks.